And I was thinking at the time, this is what I needed. This is, looking for the grass being greener on the other side. Maybe this can bring me happiness, or this can bring me happiness, or this. And yeah, so, but eventually, well, you started to get dreams, didn't you?
Yeah, I kind of saw something with not right type of thing. Like I was working. See, looking back now, I think it takes two people to get into this situation because it weren't just. I was working 80 hours a week above. I was on call at work every time a machine broke down. I was one that went and fixed it. I were I was just at work constantly, and work come first. To be fair, if they were all going on at home, there were times when Midlands had gone to hospital and I were in work, and I'd say, "Look, I can't come. I'm at work," and Emma would go on her own, and it's just stuff that I would put. It weren't because I didn't want to come; it was because I knew what sort of lifestyle everybody wanted and we thought we needed at that time, and so I had to put these hours in and work the hours to accommodate his lifestyle. So yeah, but I weren't at home helping her with kids as much as what I should have been because my main focus was money really at that time to try and produce. Not for me, so because I've never been that greedy, but it was for my family, so they could have nice things and a nice home and these luxuries, holidays, and nice cars and all these things, and you try and keep up with people around you. I was trying to keep up with my family members that are older and got better jobs and kids that have left home and stuff like that, and you're trying to keep up with them, and you just can't do it when you. And I were on a decent wage as well, but it still done. You still want more and more.
Yeah, it's just like, yeah, you're just seeking constantly, you're seeking to try and fill a void. You're seeking to try and think, oh, this will give me happiness, this will give me joy, but it literally lasts for a time, a short period, and then it's gone again, and then it's the next thing. What else can now fill this happiness? What else will bring me this joy? And you're just seeking and searching, but forever being blinded to the very blessings that you do have right in front of your face, right in your life, the very things that are the true blessings. You're blinded to them because you're seeking and wanting more of whatever else it is in your mind that's going to bring you that joy or happiness. And so Stephen started getting dreams and things, and he then questioned me about what I'd been up to. And I was absolutely blown away that he'd seen in great detail this person's house, how everything was set out and what had happened. Only one being could possibly know that, and that was a higher being. And I was like, this is how, and I denied it, and I would say, no, I've not done that. And then again, another dream would come, and it'd be what I'd done that day, or what I'd done prior, or what I'd even thought. And Stephen was getting these dreams and being shown these things. So then this spiritual aspect started to come in to help us see that there was more. There's more than just this physical world, this physical realm, and something greater was revealing things to Stephen, and interfering in our lives.
The things that were being shown were nice as well. There were things that were hurting me, but
it was truth.
Fought good of it was truth. End of the day, truth.
Yeah.
And when it come to an end, and I found out it on Christmas Day of all days, and it just ruined me. It honestly ruined me. I knew there were kind of something, but I didn't think it could happen to me. It was more such a pride thing more than anything else. My pride would into because how can this happen to me? I would not. I've never been like this. I would never do that to somebody else. But I've done it in past when I was younger. But I weren't ever in a proper relationship really, apart from the other girl that I had a daughter to. But it's like this is the sort of thing I would have done. So it was more like a pride identity thing as well as. It's like, oh, my family's being ripped apart in that moment. It was.
Yeah, and then we started experiencing like what would be classed as demonic dreams and things personally each, spiritual attacks and then physical attacks, and just didn't understand what was fully going on. And then every area in our lives started being impacted. So it was our finances, our business, our family life, our children's life, our health, all at once. Everything started to just spiral out of control and be destroyed or go wrong, or everything at once was happening, and we just didn't know what to do or how to get out of this, or what was happening.
By this time I'd ran up to when I found this out, like my job took back burner. I stopped going to work. I just ended up walking out, got into an argument, and just quit on the spot. Because it's like I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't be around. It's like my family were falling apart and everything. So that we got like £28,000 worth of debt, and for us that's quite a lot of money. And I've got no job, so I had to shoot out and get another job. I ran into a job that weren't right for me, so that only weren't one that I would have picked. So that only lasted a few weeks, and all this was going on at home. So my mind weren't on it, and it's quite dangerous, this sort of engineering, when your mind's everywhere else. So I come out of work again then, and before that, when Olivia were born as well, I got diagnosed with Crohn's disease. So all the way through this going on with Emma and what were going on, I'm struggling with this Crohn's disease. I lost 6 stone in space of about a year, weren't it?
Yeah.
It just dropped off me. Hospital didn't know what was going on. Obviously, I was losing blood and everything, and my life just seemed like it were just going down pan. Everything was just falling apart everywhere, and there were weird things happening all around us home. There were.
We ended up
it's hard to explain.
Contacting a medium to come out and see what's going on in our lives, basically, if they could possibly have some answers to enlighten us and help us. And we ended up basically making a friendship with this person and going into what we call the paranormal field, where we do investigations with spirits, go to haunted places, use equipment to reach out, the Ouija boards, all these sort of things. It was just like our life was just spiraling further away and into more of a mess. And so we ended up experiencing.
He's coming. Jesus is coming. I can't wait to hear the trumpet call. He's coming. Jesus is coming. And when he comes, we'll crown him Lord of all. And when he comes, we'll crown him Lord of all.
Supernatural things.
But before all this, what had happened with Emma and this man? This had all stopped, and we decided we were going to work at it for us kids, really. We weren't really getting on. We weren't barely talking to each other, arguing all the time, but not letting kids see it and just saying we're not going to put us kids through what we've seen. Like, we're going to stay together for kids, but it were hard. I were heartbroken. I'm not going to lie. I were a mess. It were breaking me, really breaking me. Health were deteriorating. I can remember one time I was in hospital, and they said my organs were failing because of my Crohn's disease and everything were going wrong. And I didn't think I was going to come out at that time. And they said I were lucky to have even got through it. So. And then I think that shut you up a bit, didn't it? And this is where things started to get better with us, and we're kind of all right. We've decided we're going to stay together for kids, and things started picking up a bit, didn't it?
Yeah.
And then we applied.
And then I forgot, I've jumped ahead, sorry.
Jumped a bit ahead, that pulled us back a bit.
We applied to get married on a TV show. Just threw it out there, didn't expect to hear anything back or anything, just thought, let's just apply, and thousands apply, and then the next thing we get an email back saying we'd like you to come for auditions. And this was on a show. Am I allowed to name the show? I don't know.
Yeah, it's Don't Tell the Bride.
Yeah, Don't Tell the Bride. And it was for a Christmas special, and they wanted us to do auditions, so we went, and we didn't think we were going to get through, and we did. We got through, and we basically won the wedding. We chose to do the show. And
it's like this show as well. It's normally a series, and they have so many series, but this was just a Christmas special, and there were over 200,000 people applied for it. And there was only one couple that got it, and it was us. So it was really strange how it come about, and everything just fell into place for it to happen as well. It's like we didn't even give any effort really applying for it, did we?
No.
We're like, she just did it a bit of fun, and it just all seemed to fit into place, didn't it?
Yeah. So then you ended up having to plan the whole wedding in 3 weeks, but you didn't really get 3 weeks. I think you got something like
12 days.
12 days.
Yeah.
He had to pick the dress, pick the venue, just do everything.
Yeah, it were quite strange, but
you pulled it off though. He really pulled it off. It was an absolutely incredible wedding, and he ended up going for a Frozen themed wedding. So I had a blue wedding dress that he dyed.
I dyed it,
yeah. And when I was trying that on, and my mum nearly had a heart attack, she's like, it's blue. But yeah, so then
we got married on a snow slope because we were like, right, it was to go with theme, and we had a nice sculpture made behind Emma as we were getting married in front of it and everything.
Yeah, and it was perfect. It was beautiful, and then obviously it was broadcast to many people that viewed it and enjoyed it as well. And it was such a blessing after obviously everything we'd been through and what we'd decided was going to overcome and just work through. This was a really beautiful blessing for us. So finally we was married, and then we ended up going into the paranormal field and messing around with new age stuff, spiritual things, Ouija boards, spirit boxes, calling out to what we believe was the dead and trying to communicate with them, working with mediums.
Not just trying to communicate, we were actually communicating.
Yeah, we were, and channeling as well, things. I remember telling my friends at the time, this had gone on in my life, and I believe got a demonic attachment, and our lives can get quite hard and rough at times, and we see things in the house and we have these terrible nightmares and these attacks and things, and eventually it just started to get worse and worse and worse. And so we try things like sage in the house and or rituals with candles and crystals, and do all these things trying to get this away and stop these attacks, stop these nightmares and these things happening in our house.
But within this, we're still going out and doing these paranormal investigating and doing all this spiritual stuff. And we weren't for me, it was genuine. I knew there was something else out there, and I was searching for truth. It was nothing about anything, because there were chances where there were money involved, and for me, it were never about that. Because like we in that sort of field, there's a lot of people that lie for money and fake stuff and make stuff up and everything. But for us, it was all about just finding truth. We knew there was something else, but we just didn't know what.
No, and just things got really bad. I remember one time going into bed at night, and I just saw this dark shadow. And anyway, when I went to sleep, this like demonic being came to me in my sleep, and he put like his hand over my mouth, and then he started to plummet this like black thick brown stuff into me, and then I passed out. I can't remember the rest of my dream. Well, when I woke up that morning, I told Stephen what had happened, but before I went to tell him, he told me, I've got something to tell you. And we'd seen like a shadow go across the landing, he said, and he told me, and I told him what I'd experienced. Well, that following night, when I went to bed that night, I had a full-on demonic possession dream, but it was very real, like spiritual real. I was laid in bed, I was in my room, and all of a sudden this thing was inside of me, and it was trying to attack Stephen, it was trying to attack my child, and it's just, I'm trying to hold it back, and every single muscle and organ in my body was like on fire and contracting in absolute agony. It was horrifying and petrifying, and when I woke up, I was just screaming uncontrollably, and I was so terrified, and I just couldn't go back to sleep. So then Steve started getting biblical dreams, like dreams that reverted to like Christianity or the Bible and things, but we was totally unaware about anything to do with God or Jesus at all. Like we never went to church or had any upbringings or any of this stuff. And he started to get biblical dreams about King David, dreams about Abraham, dreams about Mary, and just biblical dreams. And then all of a sudden he started to speak to me at times, and there was times when it would really impact me, like convict me deep in my soul, as if it wasn't Steve speaking to me, but it was something else through him. But I would just brush it aside and push it away, and then I'd be trying to every now and then go off and see this other person, because this pull or this draw felt so strong or overwhelming and consuming at times that I was almost like giving in. And then
He's coming. Jesus is.
Life Stories.
my own personality started to change a lot as well. I started to get more into like grungy music, dark stuff. It's like my own emotions started to be cut off to the people I loved more and more. And I was just more driven to do my own thing and things that I wouldn't normally do. Just, it was like my character and nature was changing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And so these dreams are continuing, these attacks were continuing. And then I just remember one time just getting on my knees and just crying to God, saying, forgive me. It was the first time I repented in my life. I felt helpless and hopeless. Like I felt like this was going to be my life for the rest of my life. And I was helpless to this thing that was destroying my life, destroying my family, destroying my business. I didn't know what to do. There was nothing I could do. I was powerless. And I just thought I'm going to end up going insane and put in an insane asylum, or I'm going to end up committing suicide because I can't fight this anymore. I was fighting this thing just to function in the day, and I was just seeing demonic things constantly, and I was thinking suicide again, and it was just so vile, and I couldn't do it anymore. So I just cried out to God, and I just said, God, forgive me for everything. It was the first time I felt remorse for what I'd actually done fully to Stephen, to the family, all my past. I just started telling him I was sorry for everything, and I needed him to help me. If it was real, I needed him to help me. And all of a sudden I just heard this voice speak to me. And he said, now rest your head, my precious one. And as soon as he spoke, it was just like rivers of living water. I didn't want this voice to stop. And it was like, I never heard this voice in my life, but I knew it was God's voice. I knew it was him. And then all of a sudden I was just like so overwhelmed that, wow, he's just spoke to me. Like, this can't be real. This can't be true. I can't believe it. He's just spoke to me. And I can't even explain how that felt and what that was like. So I told Stephen, and we just started to see then a lot of things relating to the Bible in our lives, or what would seem like something interfering in our lives or trying to prevent things in our lives that me especially was wanting to go off and do. We would put the spanner in the works, in a sense, and we knew it was a higher being.
It was showing me stuff. I was seeing visions and dreams of stuff that I never grew up reading any sort of religious material, scriptures or anything. So I didn't know nothing, and it was showing me in-depth knowledge that I've only come to know now as out of Bible. And it was just unbelievable how it was showing me stuff, and it was showing me like, as in, but I didn't truly understand at times. So I was saying to Emma things like, look, being a Christian, it's a good way of life, even if it's not right, and if they're into God, it's a good way of life. We're not going to be bad people. And I'm saying these sort of things and not understanding, and it was just showing me stuff all the time through. It's like, I thought at time it was spiritualism at time, like it was that sort of thing, but it was like, he knew me all weren't truly into finding all this stuff, and I was truly searching for him, and I was looking for him, and it was just everything that it was showing me.
One time he said to me, you're going to have to make a choice. You're going to have to make a choice, and it's either going to make your life or it's going to destroy your life and everybody else. But you've got to make that choice. And I just remember saying to Stephen, why have I got to make that choice? And I did not understand at all what he meant. And then, so I'm seeking and searching, knowing that God spoke to me, but at the same time doubting it and not believing it, and living a life still that's just not of God, and just trying to find truth. And then one day I went upstairs in my bed, and all of a sudden I just felt like something was going to happen. And I just started saying over and over again, in the name of Jesus Christ, I command you to reveal yourself. In the name of Jesus Christ, I command you to reveal yourself. And I kept repeating this over. And all of a sudden, I just had a vision where two cliffs and a planet was spinning around, and I got a word beginning with O, and it was a demonic name. So now I realized that there was truth in repentance. It was real. And now there was power in the name of Jesus. So I could no longer deny that Jesus was not Jesus, even though I didn't fully understand him or know him or grasp it. And I would still doubt it and think I was imagining this and I was going insane and this is not right. But then I get this deep conviction in my gut telling me, no, you know the truth, And when you stand when you die, you face, you stand before me, there's going to be that heavy judgment because so this would convict me. And then as time went on, I'm there trying to battle my flesh and my desires, which I thought, things that I want. But then, reading a bit of the Bible and seeing, well, this is not right. This is not pleasing to God. And I shouldn't be doing these things, but really struggling and battling. And then finally one day I was in my bedroom.
But with all that as well, when we were doing paranormal stuff,
yeah,
when these things were attacking us, we were calling out in Jesus' name, and these things they were communicating back with us, and we were seeing that he had a full power and authority or everything. We saw darkness before we saw light, and it was so bad. There was stuff. There's stuff. I got video captions of me getting punched inside, and there's nothing in. You can clearly see on video that I've been hit, and then I lift my top up. You can see my hands don't move. There's nobody around me, and then this mark on me just gets redder and redder and redder, where I've just been punched in car by something that you can't see, and all these things were happening. And I can remember one at times stuff were happening around us kids as they were waking up in the middle at night and saying really creepy stuff. And
I remember one saying, "You won't win, I will win, ha ha." And I just knew it was just this thing in our lives and all the doors we'd opened and all the things we was doing. And
then at this time we saw power in Jesus, but we didn't know we didn't know how to follow him, we didn't know how to do anything. So we were using his name as often as we could, but still doing silly things. And finally it come to an end where we said we're walking away from this, which was hard because I wanted to continue that life. I didn't want to give these things up. But at the same time, I could see the things that it was doing to our family and our lives. So we eventually decided to just give that up and, pursue what was happening, this, God more in some way or sense, somehow. We didn't know how. And I remember one time just being in my bedroom.
He's coming. Jesus is coming. I can't wait to hear the trumpet call. He's coming. Jesus is coming. And when he comes, we'll crown him Lord of